the next war is probably going to be fought by an adversary, probably communist China or one of its proxies like Iran or the North Koreans, who will use nuclear and chemical and probably even biological weapons like maybe COVID-19. I look at the kinds of things that are happening, particularly with COVID-19, and I say to myself, well, if they're not building a bioweapon that will do that, why didn't they stand up and say right at the get-go, when the very first cases showed up in October, not in November, and they knew instantly what to do about it. They stopped all internal travel inside China, allowed anybody to go back and forth. And where was the number one overseas Chinese production manufacturing operation? It was in northern Italy, and they were allowed to go back and forth. So the first major outbreak of the disease in Europe is Italy, northern Italy. And so I look at those kinds of things, Jordan, and I say, why would they do it that way? Obviously, they've had far fewer cases than we have. They knew exactly what to do. They started administering all kinds of things like hydroxychloroquine and the like to their people and never told us that it was working. And of course, every time the previous president would say something like that, the press would come down and hammer him on the head because you don't know what you're talking about. Why is that? I mean, why didn't the World Health Organization discover all this back in the early days of 2020? Instead, it's not till March that we start lockdowns and things like that. And then we become draconian about it, and it wrecks our economy. They have members, Chinese members of the WHO working in the Wuhan virology labs, right? What I'm saying is they didn't come out and start saying anything. And some of the doctors who did start saying, wait a second, we have a moral responsibility here, they've disappeared. And so the Uyghurs aren't the only ones who are in jeopardy inside communist China. What they didn't do to stop it or to tell the rest of the world how they could stop it, which tells you something about them